One more thing. Slightly and I are back to tell you who's the best role player on the Dallas Mavericks and more right now.
I'm here because I have to be.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine. Don't let his whiteness take away from his quickness.
You can rest later. You're young.
I need to recover here.
Wait. One more thing.
Yeah, welcome. You're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Joining me from the great Slightly Biased YouTube channel with a heart of gold and glasses of maroon. I don't know. Red?
Ruby diamond, real ruby diamonds.
Ruby was the word I was looking for. Slightly Biased. What you got for me, Slightly Biased?
Are we doing the rest of the grade? It's gonna bother me if we don't finish it.
No, that's the whole point. The whole point of what we're doing here on the one more thing is
I know, you said best role player. I didn't know if that was just you just wanted to do that and then
we're finishing the grid. We're gonna finish the grid, but I want to start with the bottom right corner. The best role player. And this grid is the grid on social media, if you've seen it, where it's who's most underrated, most overrated. You go through all the players on the team and you kind of name them. And so we've named all the other ones. So go check out that episode if you missed it. We did the first 3 rows of it, and now we're finishing up. Best role player on the team. When I start to think about who the best role player is on the Dallas Mavericks, I start to go through, all right, who's a role player? To me, it's everyone else besides Luka and Kyrie. Everyone else. And then you start to go through, all right, who's the best? Who's going to fit in the best in their role? Who's going to bring the most in their role? Who can help those guys the most? I just did an episode on Monday about how Klay Thompson can help Luka and Kyrie the most, maybe out of anybody out there. But best role player, maybe we may go back to Dereck Lively, the Dereck Lively well right here. That's where I'm leaning right now. And it could be Klay. By the end of the season, we go, oh my gosh, Klay, the spacing Klay brings, his ability to move off of the ball, his ability to, get his shot a little bit here and there, his ability to get hot, his ability to knock down open threes. Klay could be here, but I think it's going to be Lively.
I would agree. It's Dereck Lively.
No question, no contest.
Just right now, we did that episode where we were talking about who the third best player on the Mavs was. And I was saying, if at the end of the year you say it's Klay Thompson, then that's good. Because Lively gives you a floor at the very least, where you know what you're getting. If he doesn't develop much, you still know you're getting already somebody who's a top 10 center in the NBA and perfect next to Luka. But if Lively grows his game more, year 2 All-Star is a hard thing to say, but
wow,
I mean, his ceiling is very high. Like I don't think we really understand his ceiling. Like that was not supposed to happen his rookie year.
Because the thing with Lively is like his ability to learn and adapt and get better and grow. And like, if that continues throughout his career, then just what is he capable of? Right. You're completely right. We did this as a Locked On Mavs poll about 3 weeks ago, where I said, what's Dereck Lively's ceiling? 57% said he can make an All-NBA or Defensive Player of the Year award. Like, that's Mavs fans. And yeah, Mavs fans may be a little biased, but I also did multi-time All-Star. 26% said multi-time All-Star. 8% said at least one All-Star. And 8% said just solid starter, which I guess he is right now. So, I mean, he could be all NBA at some point, especially.
Man, if they still had the positional requirements.
Yeah, the position requirements would help him a lot. I doubt he'll make an All-NBA just because of now it's positionless. It's very hard to make an All-NBA.
There's a pathway where if he's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate and is like 15 and 12 a night.
Here's a scenario for Lively. The Mavs win like 55, 60 games. They're really great. Yeah. Everything works out the way that we hope that it does. Kyrie somehow misses, like he's played 64 games. So now he's not qualified for any of the postseason stuff. And everybody's going, we got to put 2 Mavs on here. Well, Dereck Lively's their best defender and their defense is top 5 or whatever it ends up being, right? Like that's a path for Lively to make one of those teams like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the All-NBA stuff, there's always weird years. There's always weird years where a bunch of guys were hurt or whatever the case may be. And that'll be especially true at the 65-game minimum. So I could see a pathway. I mean, like I said, I don't know what his ceiling is. I don't know. He does stuff from time to time where he'll get the ball in transition and then do a Euro step. And it's like, wait a second. Like, that's not supposed to be something you're doing.
What's the case for Klay Thompson? What's the case for Klay Thompson to eventually be the best role player next season?
There's an easy case for Klay, and that's he shoots 40% from 3. And his defense, it won't be where it was where he was like making all NBA teams, defensively, all defensive teams. But if it's the point where it's passable, and the Mavericks are good with him on the court defensively, and that could easily happen. By the way, that's not.
It could.
Like,
it could. I kind of want to put a little. I know. I watched on yours. You put like a little player next to.
Yeah, I think a little Klay.
Should I put a little Klay, like a bit, like right behind Lively's shoulder, just hanging out, out back there in the back, just looming. Yeah, I think that there's a great chance for Klay Thompson to be the best role player in the Dallas Mavericks next season. Where
you got to put a little PJ there.
How many? This is the thing. You start opening it up. What's the case for PJ Washington?
The case for PJ Washington is his 3-ball is better. His corner threes resembles more so what it was in the postseason. And we're around mid-30s to high 30s from 3. And there's more expanded role offensively, where the idea is that Klay's going to get all of this. And now Klay next to, but the reality might be is that Klay's, that looks good. The two Angel and Devil on Lively's shoulder.
Klay and PJ over Lively's shoulder.
But the like Klay's spacing might just warp the floor, so the 4th guy or 5th guy, in this case PJ, gets opportunity to attack the defense when they're in rotation or just straight up forgetting about them. And if the starting 5 is what we think it is, PJ will probably be the most impactful defender, or like next to Lively. So there's your case. But also we had to get PJ on the board.
We did. We had to get him in there. I don't think he's going to get in the rest of this, but I think there's also a case for Naji Marshall too.
Yeah. Are you putting a small Naji in there?
I know it's kind of wild. No, I'm just messing.
Well, what if Quentin Grimes had the, we just make the case for every player?
I think Naji Marshall is a case to be the best role player. He can shoot, pass, dribble, and defend. Where all of a sudden you go, man, he can do if he shoots 30% again from 3, and all of a sudden he's maybe Dinwiddie doesn't work out as a ball handler, but all of a sudden Naji can, and Klay Thompson doesn't work out the way we think he does, but Naji Marshall's taking his spot. I mean, I think that there is just a case for him.
Well, hear me out. Everybody has a role. Luka Doncic is the best role player on the team. No, yeah, this is good. Let's leave it here.
Okay. This is what I wanted to do. That's what I was trying to do the whole time. All right, coming up. Best handles, best shooter, best in the post. They may seem pretty obvious, and they are. We'll talk about who should be it coming up.
You don't believe you shouldn't be here.
Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time has all the props and odds, or Game Time has all of the things that you can use to get into events, to then maybe take advantage of the props and odds and things like that. So go to Game Time, go to gametime.com, see what is available in your area. There's all kinds of great stuff and activities. I've been to concerts, I've been to comedy shows, I've been to theater, I've been to sports. I think I've hit the big 4 with Game Time, and I've used Game Time for all of them because Game Time has all kinds of great stuff. They have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. You also have the all-in pricing, which I love. You just toggle the all-in feature, and it shows your total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. You gotta love that. Also, Game Time Picks, it curates and makes it easier to save more money on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. It's not just sports, but you can still get some more Rangers games. The Rangers recently did this whole promotion over email where it said 25% off the rest of our tickets. And I was like, oh man, that's cool. Let me check the price of some of these tickets. And I started looking around, and I didn't really see anything that popped out to me. And then all of a sudden I went to Game Time, and they were like 50%, 75% cheaper than even that site. So go check out Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
It's Game Time.
Touche.
All right, Slightly. It's one more thing. We're back here breaking down everything for the Dallas Mavericks. Best role player. We cheated. We put Lively, but we also threw Klay in there, PJ in there. You know what? I kind of want to throw a little Naji Marshall in there.
Yeah. Might as well throw Grimes in while we're at it.
But everybody's just hanging out. all the little role players. So many great role players. Best handles.
It's not even a contest.
Can you even make any case? Is there any case at all?
Well, you could.
Luka
you
over
could.
Kyrie.
I mean, there's a real argument the Mavs have the 2 best handles in the NBA currently.
Wow.
There's a genuine argument there.
Who else would even be in there?
Steph has really good handles.
Fair.
I'm trying to think who else has like a deep bag handles wise. I mean, there's a handful of guys, but Harden still has a great handle.
Harden's still great.
I mean, Paul George dribbles a bunch.
Lillard probably.
Yeah. Really any guards. But then you think about just Luka's handle is so crazy because it's just such on a string. Like he doesn't have the herky-jerky moves that Kyrie has. He's much more methodical and uses his strength, but he's staring at me. Luka's staring me down.
Keep messing with the chart, sorry.
But like Luka will just the way he dribbles through traffic is just insane.
There's no other answer. Kyrie may have the best handles in NBA history. He has to have the best handles on his own team. The things that I saw Kyrie do last season, I just can't explain it sometimes. We just go, how did he just get through that? Mm-hmm. The putting the ball on the string is a thing we say in basketball. Oh, he puts the ball on a string. Sometimes Kyrie literally, it looks like he throws the ball in front of himself and then he goes and catches it. Like, and then he goes and gets it. He like throw the ball in front of him and then go get it. And it's a move that he does to get out of traps, to get out of doubles, to escape and avoid defenders and get around screens and all. I mean, he just throws the ball to a spot and then runs and gets it. But that's so hard because you have to be able to know where that ball is going to be, how to get there, the timing and all that. It's kind of wild to like watch him.
Yeah, his escape dribble is absolutely nuts. I mean, it's even the subtle moves too, where it's like it doesn't. I don't know if you didn't know. It doesn't look that hard, but then you go and try it, and it's like, oh, it's just left hand, right hand. I mean, it's just.
What's funny is, so you said the escape dribble. Escape dribble is usually like you're on the 3-point line and you take one dribble away from the closer to like. Kyrie's escape dribble is literally to escape. Like, yeah. It's multiple like escape dribbles. I think he's the only one in the NBA that does escape dribbles to like get out of trouble and traffic.
Yeah, I mean, he's insane. It's definitely him.
The best shooter on the team. I'm not hearing anybody else besides.
What?
Make the Luka case.
The Luka case
or
is,
Kyrie even.
There is a Kyrie case as well. I do think Luka's has a better case for better shooter than Kyrie, just because of the degree of difficulty, the self-creation, all of that goes into that. But Klay's, potentially the second best shooter of all time, the top 5 shooter ever, though, for sure.
You and I spent a whole episode at the end of the last season, talking about how Luka was the second best shooter in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And that he was above everybody except for Steph. And so now Klay comes on the team. We're like, oh, no, it's Klay. Klay's the best. I think if you define shooter as who's the best shooter from 3 levels,
yeah,
I think Luka can be there, especially the way he shot last year. But Klay, right, if you think of shooter as just 3-point shooter, then it has to be Klay.
Right. It's banking on Klay having the second worst 3-point shooting season of his career last year, percentage-wise, at 38%. And that being higher than Luka's career high. So that just goes to show how absurdly good of a shooter Klay is. But
we made the case that his 38% is
right.
on the most difficult threes that you can take in the NBA. Like
that's why I said there's a case for Luka. I mean, there is.
I put a little Luka right behind him. There's a little Luka behind Klay. He's peeking out behind his shoulder.
Yep.
All right, the
this
best
one's
in the
not even a contest either.
Best in the post, it's Luka Doncic.
Easily Luka. I mean, it's probably the best non-center in the post in the NBA. Maybe a case for DeMar.
Best in the post.
Yep.
You have any regrets or any
No.
that you disagree?
No, this is incredible. Well, we also copped out and put like 4 on certain ones. So
yeah, but they're small. They're small. We did make picks. Should we go back and pick? Okay, so most overrated, we went Hardy and Klay.
Well, I liked your Klay. You're regretting the Klay choice. This is like the 3rd time you've asked. I like it though. I mean, I get where you're coming from.
No, I'm going through and seeing how we can make one selection for each one. But
I think both of those are fine because both of those are 2 different
versions of rate.
Right.
Best position to succeed, we did Gafford and Lively.
We just did the centers as a group. Yeah, I mean, you could even throw Powell in there. Like that, Dwight Powell's his best. He's like literally in his best circumstance possible in the NBA. Yeah, he deserves to be out there.
But put a little Dwight Powell on there. That may make people more mad than anything.
Yeah,
to put Dwight Powell on there.
Yeah.
All Okay, there you go. There's the whole list. There's the whole chart. Thanks for hanging out with us on the One More Thing. We appreciate you for checking this out. We've got the full episode. We'll also be back later in the week. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked on Mavs. It's the One More Thing.